So whether the darkness cycle is activated or not is irrelevant once the heroes are done with their hero cycle. Um, Either, like I said, either because their card slots are full and they have moved and everything, or simply because they think it's a good time to stop there so they can have get new cards without, let's say, activating the darkness or whatever. Then the cycle phase ends, and it's time for the deck phase. So the deck phase is the shortest phase of the game. It plays out real fast. Um, First thing you do, you look at your action slots on your hero board. For every empty slot, you reduce your threat by one. So if you only played two cards in the cycle, you get to reduce your threat by two, and so forth. If you so this is the danger of filling out your action slots or your card slots every cycle, because you would never get to reduce threat. So reaching again high threat can be very dangerous. So once you've done that, you remove all the cards you've played from your hero board, uh, un- uh, with the exception of some cards that will stay there. So you'll get a better understanding of that later on, I guess. But just know if the card has the ongoing keyword, then those cards can stay if you wish on your board. Then you can keep up to one card from the cards left in your hand. So if you only played two, then you would have normally you would have three cards left in your hand. You can keep one if you want to, and discard the rest, and then fill your hand back to five cards. So that's the deck phase. So next is the third and last phase, the refresh phase. Again, that phase is detailed on the darkness board, so you get every step for the refresh phase on the darkness board. The first one is the darkness meter step. So basically, what you do is have a look at every group of monster, or every monster type that is active. So in my previous example where I was fighting off grubbers, uh, all the grubbers, minions and captains together count as one minion type, monster type, sorry. So you would add one AP to the AP track. If you were facing off against grubbers and crawlers at the same time, if both monster types are active, then you would add two AP. If only one of the two is active, then you only add one. On top of those APs, you will add one for every mini boss and every agent active also. There's no agent in the base set, but that's something that exists if you got the whole Kickstarter shebang. And then you would add extra APs for the boss if there's a boss active. But it's not one for the boss. It's actually written on its boss card. So I believe our friend the Terror with 1,000 legs here adds two APs in when it's in his first cycle or first phase, and then three APs in the second phase. So that's bad. Then the second step in the if by doing this the AP track reaches 6 or more, a darkness phase occurs right now. So the darkness triggers, and whatever I explained earlier happens again. So that's the second possible way of activating the darkness. Um, if the darkness activates, then you resolve that right now. Once it's done, you move on to the second step of the refresh phase, which is the allies activate. So if you're lucky enough to have an ally with you on the tile, this is when they play. So they don't play during the hero cycle, they play during the refresh phase. So they would get to do whatever they can do according to their description in the rules. Third step is the quest results. So this is where you're gonna check if the quest is a success or a failure. So you have to do this in a specific order. So first you check if the quest is successful. If it's not, you check if it's failed. If it's not, some quests will have a specific amount of time you have to succeed. So you would reduce the counter or the cycle counter last of the 3 checks. So basically, this means if you succeed on the very last turn you had or very last cycle you had to succeed, the success is yours. Then after the quest result, you have the status results. This is when you suffer the penalties and or damage caused to you by conditions or status you have. Say you're poison. And I specifically choose poison because it's not in the rules, it's not explained in the rules, but poison is 1 damage dot, so you suffer 1 damage every refresh phase in the 4th step, which is status results, every time until you're cured or you die. So the ways to cure poison would be with the anti-venom potion, or the brigand has 1 card that allows him to cure poison on 1 hero, and the acolyte has I think 2 cards that can cure conditions. So that's the only way to get rid of poisons. Then it's the traps that activate. So some traps have a very specific way of interacting with the heroes. All the traps are explained in the rules, so you really have to read them carefully when you face them. But your basic traps will activate during the refresh phase, so this is when they activate. It's also good to know that when you disarm a trap in the game, you remove it right away. So if during a hero cycle you disarm a trap, you remove it from the tile. And then every remaining trap activates during the refresh phase. And the last step of the refresh phase is cleanup. So basically that's when you remove dead heroes. So if a hero gets killed whenever during the game, you don't actually remove it from the tile, you simply put it on his back, or whatever way you want to represent a dead hero, but you leave it there because there is a way for a dead hero to come back to life. It's not with your normal heal cards or anything, it's by using serendipity. I won't discuss much serendipity in my videos, but just know it exists, and basically you win them mostly by disarming traps, sometimes by succeeding some quests, and there is a whole section in the rules explaining how and when and what you can do with it, so read that. And also in the cleanup step, this is where you get to equip and unequip your cards. So if you picked up a treasure earlier in the hero cycle, remember you can't equip it right away. So you would simply equip it now during the refresh phase. Also, just know about the items card that heroes can trade during the hero cycle at no cost, as long as they're adjacent to one another. So if you've got 2 heroes adjacent, you can trade as many cards as you want for free. It doesn't cost movement points or actions or whatever. If the tile is cleared, heroes can trade for free as long as they're on the same cleared tile. So they don't have to be adjacent. They can just trade cards at no cost again. That's pretty much in a gist the gameplay, how it works. So that's the gaming structure of it, the three phases. Um, Hopefully, I've been clear. But again, the next video will pretty much take this, and I'll do probably a couple of cycles and do maybe 2 or 3 rounds of phases, just so you really understand what I've been explaining, and I'll try to give you a little bit more details as I go through it. And thanks for watching.